Tell to be repealed or afraid time is running out. The pressure is now on the Senate to end the ban during its lame duck session. If lawmakers would pass the annual defense spending bill the way it's written right now, the ban would be over. But Senator John McCain is trying to change the bill. He wants to take out language that would repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Jon Soltz is the chairman of VoteVets.org, an Iraq War veteran. This issue is back on the front burner again. You had the new Commandant of the Marine Corps, General James Amos, saying to reporters over the weekend, there's risk involved. I'm trying to determine how to measure that risk. He means in repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It's not a social thing. This is combat effectiveness. We're talking about our young men laying out, sleeping alongside of one another, and sharing death, fear, and loss of brothers. Does Don't Ask, Don't Tell, John, affect those issues of unit cohesion?
No, look, I served in Iraq, and I found out years later that someone I had actually served with was gay. Nobody knew, nobody cared. It's not an issue. I think luckily for the new Commandant of the Marine Corps, on December 1st, he's going to get the Pentagon's assessment. So he can read the entire 10 months of work that the Pentagon's done that will explain to them how they want to implement this policy. So Senator McCain's excuse that he's been hiding behind for months on this issue about, this is too difficult for the military, X, Y, and Z, what's their opinion, it doesn't matter because on December 1st, the Pentagon's assessment will only address implementation, nothing else.
Well, and we've already learned that the Pentagon survey they did found that the majority of active duty troops and their families don't care.
Don't care. I went over and spoke with General Ham. They did a big meeting with all of the veterans groups leaders, and I presented with him an assessment that VoteVets did where we polled Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. 75% don't even care if someone's gay. We took that assessment over to his team to have another conversation. But it's important for people to understand the assessment that the Pentagon's doing is just to talk about how they want to implement it. The decision for repeal comes from Congress and the President.
Well, okay, so at this point, since Senator McCain is pushing for the language to be rewritten, and again...
He's stall tactics. There's no straight talk here. This is Senator McCain's stall tactics, period.
Okay, so, and do you think that they're going to address that in the lame duck session? They've got a lot of other things to deal with here, tax cuts and things like that.
I think they have to. Right now, the bill is attached to the Defense Appropriations Bill. The military has no money for things outside Iraq and Afghanistan. The fiscal year is 1 October. So if you're Senator Reid and you're the president, you know the majority of Americans support repeal. You know the majority of Iraq and Afghanistan veterans support, don't care if someone's gay. And you know that you had 56 votes in the filibuster session, and the seats that you needed to hold in the election where you had special, for instance, Delaware, if Christine O'Donnell had won, she would have been seated immediately because it was a special seat.
Right.
So Democrats held a lot of the special election seats, Colorado, West Virginia. You still have 56, 57 votes. Force John McCain to be against.
If it doesn't happen in the lame duck session...
It's in big trouble.
Well, we may be talking about this after...
It's in big trouble if they don't get it done in this Congress.
All right, John, we'll be watching for that. In fact, that's my big question today, right? We're talking about whether this...